Good evening, Postal family. How's everybody doing? My name is Saeed. Welcome back to my channel. What's going on this very hot Saturday evening? Today, what I'm talking about, the topics that's really making some steam right now. Carriers getting, pushed around by management. Whole different topics. Other than that, what the NALC's response is to the Congressional National Hearing with Postmaster General Steiner, who made a complete fool of himself. Laughing, not taking things seriously. I spoke about it in my last video, so we'll get into that. First, if you're new to the channel, my name is Saeed. Postal content is what I do, love to do. Thanks everybody for all the support. I can't thank you guys enough. All the support I get from everybody. This is why I do this. Keep giving me the thumbs up. Smash that hype button. Takes a second. Thanks everybody for all the comments as well. Keep them coming. I love reading them. If I'm sorry I don't get to your comment and haven't replied in a minute. It's a little bit backed up, but I'm getting there, guys. Thanks so much. It's been outpouring of support. Thank you so much. Everything I say on here is from my views, my research. I don't speak on behalf of USPS Post Office in any of my videos. Let's start with the topic, the different things that our carriers are struggling over right now in the office and on the street. Look, guys, our contract expired back in May. The summer heat is hitting hard and management is turning up the pressure. If you feel like there's a target on your back every time you clock in, you aren't alone. Trust me, you aren't alone. That's all of us. Today we need to talk about the massive contract fights happening right now and the specific traps management is setting up for us on the workroom floor. What's the issue? The scanner trap and stationary time. Management is heavily relying on raw scanner data to track every second of stationary time. They're trying to turn numbers on a screen into instant discipline. The defense scanner data alone is not sole proof of discipline. If a supervisor confronts a carrier using nothing but a computer report, that is a direct violation of proper procedure. What's the action step on this? You guys have to document everything. If they are adjusting mail, taking a comfort break, or dealing with an obstacle on the route, write it down. When management comes with discipline, grieve it immediately. Number 3, the threat to our benefits. During these contract negotiations, the Postal Service is actively looking for givebacks, trying to roll back hard-earned rights to save money. What's the big risk? One of the biggest rumors and targets is the automatic progression to part-time flexible status after 2 years. What's the takeaway from this? The stance from the workroom floor has to be absolute. No compromises in our career progression. Giving up the 2-year conversion path would ruin retention and crush newer carriers. Number 4, summer heat and safety battle. What the issue is? It's June. It's blistering hot out there. You guys know I'm sitting in like over 90 degrees right now. And management is still pushing for speed over safety. Well, basically for them all year long, it don't matter it's June or January. They're going by the screen in front of them and they want the most out of each and every carrier, the fastest rate as possible. Safety is not in their vocabulary. Your own concern is up to each of us individually when we're out there. What's the defense on this? The Heat Illness Prevention Program, HIPP, isn't optional. It's a requirement. If local management is skipping the mandatory stand-up talks, failing to provide adequate water, I haven't seen that in a minute now. They're supposed to provide, I know, but I'm sure it doesn't happen in a lot of majority of the stations. Skipping the mandatory, failing to provide adequate water, or questioning carriers for taking extra comfort breaks to cool down. They are violating safety protocols. What's the action step? Their life is worth more than a piece of plastic. Take the breaks, as many as you need out there. Stay hydrated and use the grievance process if management pushes back. See, the thing I've been noticing last few years, the grievance process is getting more and more delayed. So we can say, okay, we can tell our shop steward grievance, but there's only so much our brothers sisters in the union can do as well. It's as simple as when the grievance paperwork gets to that manager can easily keep delaying it and say, I don't have time for it. And then, we're stuck with nothing. We took the downfall, and then there was a grievance, but then the grievance is not doing any good because they never get around getting it. The management is. So it's kind of like a dead end issue, but it's really tough right now, depending. Number 5, education is your weapon. The only way to stop a bully manager is to outwork them on the contract. The union needs carriers who act like warriors on the floor, not targets. What's the fix? Stewards and carriers need to master contract rights, specifically around steward time and how to properly build a bulletproof grievance file. When you hand management a file packed with facts, timelines, and manual citations, they back down. Is your office trying to issue discipline over stationary time or scanner data right now? How is your station handling the summer heat? As you guys always know, drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Smash the like button. You all know, you all do what the best. You guys, I don't have to say anything. You all always support me in everything. Thank you so much. Yeah, this heat issue and them providing water, I don't know. I've heard different things. I haven't heard so much about this specific topic. My manager had recently retired, so back when she was running things, some summers she did provide a lot of Gatorade and water, but currently no. That some stations provide it, some don't. Until recently, I didn't even know that could be a grievance. So, all right, let's get to the NALC. What they have to say about the joke of the Postmaster General, what he presented, how he acted in this recent sitting with the Congress. Postmaster General went before Congress a couple days ago and dropped a bomb, telling them Postal Service is completely out of cash and borrowing from employee retirement funds to stay afloat. So basically, right now we're working, we don't know, I can't trust this guy anymore the way he was laughing, so my trust is gone. For me, he's just a sit-in right now because the way he handles things that came out plain and clear, laughing, not taking ownership of the Postal Service is like he's just a sit-in. So anything he says until I see reliable evidence, I'm not going to believe. So him saying we're relying on the retirement that's being withheld, we're relying on those billions to survive, highly unlikely. Borrowing from employee retirement funds just to stay afloat. Even worse, some senators openly push for cutting mail delivery down to 4 or 5 days and outsourcing routes to cheap private contractors. This is extremely high topic and high topic of concern right now. You know how Amazon contracts out a lot of their routes, and they don't give all these benefits to these outside contractors. That's what is circulating within the Postal Service. But I believe they tried that 10 years ago, outsourcing mail delivery and package delivery together, but it didn't work. So that idea, I don't know how far that can get. God forbid, We're good with our 5/8 now. If they take away Saturday, we're okay with that. But that 4/10s, which gonna equate to 10s or more, a lot of people were saying if God forbid they do go to 4/10s, it's not gonna be 10 alone because all the mail will be piled up from the other 3 days. You'll probably be out there 11 and a half. Imagine. We're just getting into the 100-degree days right now. End of June, July, August is over 100 degree. You want to do 11, 12 hours out there in LLV? I don't think we'll survive that much longer in an LLV of 11, 12 hours. But I just don't see this 410s happening. There's a lot of, I've spoken about it in my previous videos. There's extremely a lot of things against this schedule. First of all, there's a lot of parents, they have kids, they have a set schedule. They have to get off in 8 to go pick up their kids, be with their kids, take care. So if you suddenly change them to 10, that's it's not gonna work because they have prior responsibilities, kids to take care of and different things. The NALC is pushing back hard, specifically warning that management is trying to use this manufactured financial panic as a scare tactic to force a bad contract on carriers or strip away the right to rank and file vote. Exactly, it's a lot of news. The June 24th out of control cash bomb sale. Before we can even look the workroom floor, we have to look at Capitol Hill. Just a couple of days ago, on June 24, the Postmaster General sat in front of Senate committee and literally told Congress, we are out of cash and borrowing from employee retirement funds. They're calling out our entire universal service broken model. But there's the real kicker. Senators at the hearing were actively floating ideas like cutting our delivery down to 4 or 5 days, closing post offices, aggressively outsourcing our work to cheap private contractors. The NALC response and strategy. The NALC is watching this closely. The union's stance is that we cannot let management use the sudden financial panic as leverage at the bargaining table. The rumor mill is already spinning that they want to use this crisis to bypass our contract vote or force us into binding arbitration. It's a classic scare tactic. Cry broke at the top, so the carriers on the street are too scared to fight for the raises and protections we actually earned. Postmaster General told Congress 84% of city routes are financially underwater. Local managers are under intense pressure to find missing time. That is exactly why they're observing over your scanner data and stationary time. They're trying to squeeze blood from a stone to look good on a spreadsheet for Washington. Connect the push 4-day delivery and outsourcing mentioned in the Senate to why management is fighting so hard against 2-year automatic PTF career progression. They don't want full-time career carriers with benefits. They want a cheaper, flexible workforce. Are you guys hearing about this cash crisis in your local stations as your managers using the broke excuse to cut hours or push you harder on the street? As always, drop a comment. So just wanted to bring you guys up to date, some information. Well, it's not new information, but James Henry and Mike Cariff and them are fighting over this thing, this station time and this abuse that we get from different, you know who I'm talking about. And, once we get out on the street times and all that good stuff. So the usual stuff, NALC, having our back. The other day I shared some of the union people's top salaries. You guys got a kick of it, a lot of comments. Rightfully so. I didn't know myself that James Henry, overall, his compensation was the highest in NALC. I mean, he probably does different things to get to that point, but over $450,000. It's wow. That's just that word, wow. Sadly enough, when you think how far behind carriers are left and where the frontline workers, explains how unfair things are right now. Us carriers in the heat right now, go outside. A lot of us, myself, have LLVs. And, to top it off, once we have to get to the top right now in 13 years. You don't even know next day you will wake up. So to think we're behind that much more, salary wise, as compared to some of the leaders in the union. It's I tell you what, it's not a surprise to me. I saw these figures. I knew they were up there, but it is kind of degrading, man. Because as a carrier, you're out there in the heat. It does become very frustrating. That you can, you're trying to fight your way. Those 13 years right now is really messed up. That whoever, I don't care who the NALC manager is, that needs to be broken down at least to 8, at the bare minimum to 8, to get to the top, man. 13 years. And what is at the top? I mean, a lot of carriers with overtime already make 6 figures, so it's just, me with my positivity. I'm not going to say anything to degrade, to down our team of carriers. All we can do is pray to the Creator. God knows everything, what we're doing, who's making what. He gives everything, all your salary. Every human being's salary is given by God. He controls everything, this planet, everything. Is his creation. So if you believe like that, there's always, your mind tells you keep going. You can't fight. We don't have the power to fight over somebody's salary. But at the end of the day, when we see figures like this, it does hurt a lot, man. I ain't gonna lie, it hurts. But there's nothing each of us can do about it. So the best we can do right now is hope and pray that a good manager comes in, care for Henry. Always may the better man win. We're not looking at how much they're making, although it hurts. Like I said, looking at those figures. But, we need somebody to really stand up for the carrier base, stand up for our rights. Postal Service, we always pray it survives. Right now is a tough time. This current postmaster, there's a lot of you in the comments are talking about taking him out as the postmaster. Obviously, we saw he takes it as a joke. He's not taking any ownership. It's like he's just a sit-in right now. So probably we will need another Postmaster General, although the president selects Postmaster General like he did with this clown. So we just, our hands are tied as to what we can do right now. We don't want the 410s by any means. That's the worst thing that can happen. God forbid. I'll keep saying God forbid. We don't want that. A lot of us, I've said in several of my videos, depend on that overtime, literally depend on it. Because some of us that have started, our base rate hasn't kept up. Right now, we're progressing as the years go by, but it's not nowhere near maxed out as to where we can say, okay, 10 fours, we can survive on 40 hours. But a lot of you know what I'm talking about. That overtime really does help, gets us over the hump. So the 410s is definitely not going to work. And in the heat, 10, 11 hours daily, it's not gonna cut it. So there's a lot of things messing with that option right now. It's not gonna happen. Let's pray it doesn't happen. We're not a private firm. This Postmaster General is a lot of things he's saying. He's just plain talking about his from his private days at FedEx, the waste management, his experience. Those two are private. He has no sense of what public is. And it's a public service. There's a big difference that this guy doesn't realize. All he did over there was just sitting, laughing at the senators, questioning him point blank. So he's not the guy for us, after what kind of fool he made out of himself and the Postal Service in front of Congress. He's not my Postmaster General, so he's just a sit-in right now. We'll see what happens. But like I was saying, we need to select the best man to stand up for the carrier base. Our rights, everything is on the line right now. A lot of panic setting in. Not panic, but concern. over different things, how we're going to survive, money issue, the schedule issue now, what kind of contract they're working on in this mediation. A lot of you mentioned mediation ain't nothing. So basically, they're chilling in a ice cold office, sitting, eating, getting fat, basically, off of our union dues, and not much of nothing else. Just chilling. Last time he chilled, you know who I'm talking about, rent fraud, 700 days. Came out with next to nothing. It was a massive fail last time around. That contract tentative agreement that we rejected by 60,000 votes or more, I believe I remember correctly. And to top it off, after arbitration, that exact tentative agreement that we slapped back on his face ended up haunting us, and it went into effect. So we don't want none of that nonsense from last time around. This time around, we're praying for a much better result. So we'll see what happens, guys. So that's it for this one. Just wanted to bring you guys up to date. On things, and we'll see you on the next one. This is it for this video. Mailman Saeed out. Take care, guys.